I got to take a look at the film to see what went on. I haven't seen the stats yet. Neither have I seen the film to see exactly what it was, whether it was just one-on-one where guys got beat or whether there were twists. But we'll be able to evaluate that. That's definitely something that we have our eye on and we got to keep an eye on.
Corey, is this a night where you have more questions or answers as to what the final roster is going to look like?
Like I said, last couple of days we've been trying to put the roster together, and you pretty much have a sense of it. Like I said, there's a couple of guys that, what might have been on the bubble, and like I said, there wasn't a lot of great plays made out there, but I don't think there was questions where God did anything good. Like I said, some guys had a little bit of rust on them. That's why you play the veterans as much as you do, but I don't think anybody played themselves on the roster. I think it's probably going to remain the way that we've graded it in the last couple of days.
Is that disheartening? Is that concerning that nobody jumped up and put themselves on the roster?
Well, the thing about it, like I told the guys, this is professional football, and you always want to see those guys. This is what they get paid to do, and this is what guys are trying to get paid to do. So some guys, they got to take that next step if they want to do this for a living, and that's just as hard. There's some guys that if they want to be a starter, they got to take the next step. So it's all about those guys just taking the next step from where they are to where they want to be.
Some guys specifically let you down?
Let down now. I think it's one of those things, like I said, where we had about, 16, 17 penalties. We took too many penalties there. There was some rust in a couple of areas in all three phases. So, it is preseason, but, never to look for an excuse. I do expect us to be a better football team going forward.
Corey, the first drive of the second half, you get the touchdown, then that's it for Darian. How nice is it for him to go off with the touchdown drive just to build the confidence for that open?
Well, the thing about it is, hey, Darren's have plenty of touchdowns in his career. That's it's good to have it just because that's where we are in the game. And, I'm not doubting anything that we have offensively. Or, like I said, he scored. They scored on that drive. It was good so they could finish the drive. That's what we wanted to see. Hopefully they could have scored earlier, and then we'd been better. But I wanted to see a little bit more out of that group. And we still have some ways to go, and I think we'll be good.
Was that why they stayed in there that long, or was that the plan?
That was the plan. Yeah, it was the plan to give them one more series. Like I said, if I can plan for them to stay in and score, then I'd put them in all the time. But no, we wanted to make sure that, they ended with a good drive, and they were in sync at that time, and it was good. It was like one of those things that was right on time.
With them trying to get used to George's offense, too, is that another reason you left that unit a little longer?
Yeah, just to get used to, like I said, really just the playing rhythm of everyone together. That was the biggest thing. Getting used to the offense. The offense is the offense. It's not too much. There's some terminology difference, but there's still some things used from last year. The biggest thing is you just want to see those guys play through all the things that happen in a preseason game, all the ups and the downs and all the swings. That's the biggest thing that I want to see those guys play through it.
What about the kicking?
I don't have any. I have not spoke to the medical staff yet, so I couldn't tell you exactly what's going on with him.
Did you learn enough about your kickers to make a decision on them?
Not as much as I had hoped it had. We had, I think, one fumbled snap. We had one miss, and then, we had a couple of things. The punting, you'll probably be able to grade it a little bit more than the field goal deals. Like I said, I guess that's one of those that we'll just have to continue to move forward on and hopefully not play musical chairs a lot. But those guys will step up and become accurate field goal kickers for us.
Do you think it'll take you right down to the wire to figure out who's made and who hasn't made this team, or not?
Yeah, well, once I go in and once I look back through the film, we'll definitely see. Like I said, I had some things in mind how we would shape the roster up. And just looking overall, it's pretty tough. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we keep the players that's going to play smart football, two, that's going to help us become a winning team.
Corey, when you talk about room for improvement, are those areas coachable, or are there still personnel needs?
Oh, I think they're pretty much coachable. Like I said, some of the things are, when you're playing football in the preseason, and you speak to those guys and you talk about taking to the next level. Some guys are playing, all out because they're trying to make a team. And sometimes you have to make sure you temper back all the intensity and making sure you're playing smart football instead of hard football, just to make sure that you make the team because you're doing the right things all the time, not going full speed trying to make that big play, but just making the solid plays.
Darian said that they've been working hard to get Corey involved in the passing game. Do you think that was accomplished tonight?
You know what? I can't really comment on that right now. Like I said, when the game happens so fast when you're on the sideline. You see a couple of plays here, then you're looking at all three phases. Once I look at the film, I'll be able to tell you more. How Corey progressed in the passing game. Like I said, I saw him get a couple of balls, but I couldn't tell you exactly how many passes he had and how good he looked with those passes.
What's your timeline, Corey? Are you planning to do it tonight, tomorrow?
Well, you had to meet with management, and we'll go through that. Like I said, it won't be anytime soon. Because a lot of things. One, you have to look at injuries, who's injured, who's all that. There's a lot of different things that goes into making out a roster. It may be one or two guys from other teams. So there's a lot of things that go into making a roster. So I won't say the sooner the better is once we have what we have.
Do you feel comfortable going ahead with the guys you have during your kicking game? Like these, you have the two, the punter and the kicker on your own?
Yeah, I feel comfortable with that. There's some things that always have to be tweaked. Like I said, the guys that we have, I think they're pretty good, or we wouldn't have brought them in. The guys that we wanted to move away from, then they didn't make it this far. So I think we just have to continue to work with what we have and go from there.
What's your confidence level going into the season opener?
You know what? When you look at the preseason, you just have to take it for what it is. Because, like I said, if we had lost last week and won this week, then you say, "Oh, my confidence is right where it needs to be." But you can't look at that, right? I said it is a split. The good thing is we did enough good things in the preseason to go 500 in there. So that's a positive. And there's some positive things that we did in the first game that maybe we didn't carry over as much. But then there's some positive things that we did in this game. So we just got to find a way to put it together and show the guys for this first upcoming game.
How would you evaluate what you have at right tackle now? How do they perform?
That's another thing. Like I said, I really have to sit down and go through the film before I talk about the evaluation and see exactly how they played. Last week was one deal, but this week you have to go through everything and just make sure once we're done watching the film, we'll see where those guys stand.
Is there a certain level of improvement over the first 18 games that will be acceptable to you?
Well, yeah, wins. That's the biggest thing is how many wins we have. I think that, like I said, I think we've put some pieces in place. Guys we have to go from one step to the next very fast because we have a game coming up, and from there on, that will count. But like I said, there were some good things in that game. Preseason game with as many bodies and as many penalties as we had, it was only a 1-point game. So if we clean those things up and we do what we need to do and finish drives when we need to, stop guys, that's a part of football. But if we do it on a consistent basis, we'll be a real good football team.
Will you give the guys a break now till you start? Because if you start the regular schedule.
They're in tomorrow. The guys are in tomorrow. We'll watch the film, and then we'll go through the film with those guys, and then we'll make cuts in the next couple of days. And I think we have a team meeting Sunday, so they'll have a couple of days off to rest, and they'll get a game plan, and we'll hit the ground ready to go.
What did you do during the power outage before you guys came on the field?
Well, we just sat in there wondering whether we were going to play the game like we were in the 70s or something. But, we just sat in there, and, they came back on very quick, and then we just gave the team message. That was it.
Corey, G-Roy had tweeted before the game he was having trouble getting here because of traffic. Were there a lot of guys that had trouble because of getting here or not? Did that sort of disrupt the routine?
If they weren't tweeting, then they probably would have made it here. I don't know how you're going to tweet and drive at the same time. So I didn't have any trouble getting here. I just drove. But, no, I know some guys came in late. I think it was with the bus and all that. But you got to, it's football. There's going to be adjustments that need to be made. They had to deal with the same thing at Calgary. They had to circle for a couple of minutes before they landed. So there's no excuses with that. Football's football. You're on the field. You have to win it.
What time did you come?
What time was I here? Oh, I'm here early. I was like 3 o'clock.
Have you changed anything in your second season and approach to that position game?
No, I mean, I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we played the starters as much in the first game, and then we played them in the second game. But for the most part, like I said, just getting used to everything. We played the starters a little bit more this game. And like I said, there's some guys that came in backup roles I thought did some really good job. So didn't change much.